Hello, I'm Scoot with Ministry Promotions.
I'm Cherry.
I'm Deli.
I'm Dark Goody.
So, the first thing we're going to do is address the team because I'm very sick and I'm very tired, but I still need to make a thank you post, and it's going to be this video. Also, because things have been very chaotic, it just so happens we just passed our 2-year anniversary, and 6 months ago I was supposed to pop a announcement video for a lot of things, so we're just gonna put it all together unscripted, so I'll try not to drone on. But yeah, first things first, we just had a fantastic week. A little bit of chaos because information didn't really come to you guys early enough, and I apologize for that. I try very hard to make sure that we get all the information that we can, but looking at the Discord, we just smashed first things first. We had a 2-day festival with... Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. See, that's why a script is good. So, we just had a sponsored event with Slime VR, something I mentioned in the past we were going to be doing. I think this is our third one. Went fantastic. You guys crushed it. We had a long-awaited another event with the Cauldron, our homies at Emo Night and Rift. That went very well. We smashed it at Schism. Again, you guys are the best team in the world. This week has been super chaotic with all the stuff VCAT related, which I'll talk about in a minute, but insert the typical simp post here. This is the part where I'm like, I love you guys. Thanks for making Ministry. You're fantastic. Sign-ups are live. Limits are set to 2 slots per dancer per event. The reason there's a lack of limits is because so much is crammed in the middle of the week, and it's Halloween. So, not trying to ask too much of anybody. But yeah, so we crushed it. Thank you guys. Next thing, I guess I'll start. So, it's our 2nd year anniversary. Don't cry, right? It does not feel like 2 years ago I stood right over there and did this exact thing by myself, talking out of confidence without anything to stand on. I didn't expect to have the team that I have. I didn't expect us to, do as much as we did as quickly as we did. Of course, I knew the potential, and that's why we did this, right? We knew that there was a lot of collective experiences that made what progress we were finding. I come from a long history, well, not long, VR is not that old, but I come from, in VR chat time, I come from a long history of static events, the club scene, picking up what works, dropping what doesn't. And the goal was to create a machine that could be plugged into other events. People see an event that, I'm having so much fun. What is this place? Oh, they've been going for 5 years. Why have I never heard about it? We wanted to fix that. We've all seen companies come into VR chat and try to do well, and they walk away happy, empty-handed, because they didn't know what they were doing, because IRL promotions do not translate to VR promotions, or social media, for that matter, or even just general content creation. Everything that comes into VR chat is a whole different animal once it's here. And so we wanted to make a format for that. Also, brand new communities that have a lot of heart, that need help getting started. Also something that we set out to do. I didn't expect us to only be 2 years in and have hundreds and hundreds of events under our belt. I didn't expect it to be so quick that we would be multi-instancing every single week for the last year and a half, thanks to Cherry as the first prefect. The first reason I was able to split myself into multiple places. Seeing how that looked, what that looked like, because even to this day, multi-instancing is taboo, but we're going to fix that. And then eventually our prefects, and then another magistrate, such as Deli, who has been promoted. We've picked up a lot of partners. It's been crazy. And we're 2 years old now. It doesn't feel like it, does it? But some things I just wanted to talk about. Again, this is unscripted, so I'm so sorry if I drone on. We just did another Portal event. Another thing that I wanted Ministry to do is bridge the gap between, and I think I'm turning wrong, I wanted Ministry to bridge the gap between IRL events and non-IRL events. Not because, ooh, cool portal, but because the goal of Ministry is to get that concurrent user count up. Even if we're just a drop in the bucket, enough drops eventually become a cup, and then an ounce, and then so on and so forth, and eventually you have a full bucket, and that's the goal, right? We want to see VR have millions of users someday. And this wasn't our first one. Since the last update, we did an event with Anticorp in Brussels, which was a massive IRL event that had an insane turnout on the VR side and a very successful portal with nothing more than a webcam hooked up to a bar. Before that, we did a event that got smashed by tornadoes in Dallas, Texas with Peppercast. But just the other week, we did another one with Focus Entertainment and Peppercast that did very, very well. It was the first of its kind in the area. Focus had just moved from California out of his network into a new one in Texas, so the IRL side could have done better, but it did well enough to where we're going to be doing it again, and I need to actually talk to him later tonight about that now that I think about it. We had Peppercast come out, Cozy Club, Ascension, Tenjiku, and a bunch of other clubs, and 3 strong instances, and a lot of people having a lot of fun interacting both IRL and all over the world in VR, face-to-face in real time. So that was fantastic. Upcoming, as we've done in the past, and I've mentioned that we were going to go for, I can't say what yet, but we are going to be going back to VCAT this winter, and there's a lot to talk about when I can, so please keep an eye out. But VCAT's a massive, it's the biggest virtual market in the metaverse, we'll just say, for those who might see this and aren't familiar with VR culture. And it's a great opportunity for us to meet new teams, new users, people that might want to get started, people who have already been veterans that we could learn from, or veterans that could learn from us, right? That, we could help because, once you become an expert, you're automatically a novice because you stop listening to certain advice from certain people. It's just, no matter what we're talking about, VR, being a mechanic, once you know better, you don't know better. So that's going to be really exciting, and we're really excited about that. We're going to be showcasing things from our partners, from our team, and Ministry Promotions is designed to not self-promote. We're here to be an augmentative force for other events. We attach so that way you can do better. We look good when you do good because we were there. You'll never see a big M in the middle of the poster going, ba ba ba. Things might be powered by Ministry, but that's not what we do. So VCAT's a great opportunity for me to give back to everybody that works with us and promote us for what we do, because it's very seldom that we get to do that. Past that, GearFest is coming back. We're going to be reaching out to a lot of our partners. We've already reached out to a few, and this is going to be a very powerful event. Nothing is confirmed yet, but we recently did an event with VR Chat. We helped them out with Summerfest. And again, things are still malleable, but we're going to try to have them come back. We're going to be getting a lot of the communities from last year back. We're going to be working, hopefully, with VCAT. Again, not confirmed, but these are things that we're hoping to bring together. And I'm not going to name the fundraiser yet because we haven't decided it. But this is also going to be a fundraiser event. For those of you who don't know what GearFest is, GearFest came from the will of a friend of mine that I met back in the Alcoholics Unanimous days, the first club I started with. GearFest was just a birthday event. He wanted to do a 3-day festival to give back to the communities that helped him out as a DJ. Gearbolt has since evolved to playing primarily IRL and touring. No, he's not some big shot making big money, but he is going through that process. He's a real DJ doing real things all over the country, and he started in VR. So the second year, he had us back again because we were there the first time, and it was actually, we didn't think about it at the time because it was pretty underwhelming how things were set up, but it was a 3-day festival, 4 hours each day. And it's when our leadership structure came into place. Jerry was still a prefect. It was our first time doing 7 events in a week. The second day was our first time doing 3 instances at once for 3 different events. So it was a huge turning point. Last year, he had us spearhead it, and GearFest bloated to 4 days, 8 hours each, 3 instances. Very powerful. And we raised over $2,000 for Fight for the Forgotten. Not gonna cry. This year, I don't know what the fundraiser is, but to close this up and not ramble on too much, GearFest is a community-based goal project to take the communities of VR chat that want to do better, that want to do things bigger than themselves, to come together, put why we want to be here aside, whatever that might be. Maybe we want to be the next big VR DJ. Maybe we want to get bigger as a dancer. Maybe we want to learn programming. Maybe we want to be a freak in private. Who knows, right? Like, we don't know what we want to do until we get here. But when we come together from all over the world in one place without ever leaving our home, and we promote goodwill, have fun, and make a bunch of noise, people hear it, and it gets shared all over social media, and we can do a lot of good like we did last year. So once the fundraiser's decided, again, it's an opportunity for everyone involved, regardless of if it's a big-time sponsor, a small-time club trying to network and, start growing. The goal there is to have the community do something bigger. Our selfish goal with Ministry Promotions is, again, not to grow us, but to grow the scene that we live in. We can't grow until the scene grows. None of us can. You can't. We can't. The whole, you'll see a lot of content about cancel culture. It doesn't exist here yet. There's not enough users on this platform for someone to truly be canceled. But, drama aside, we all still get to hear about it. So that's GearFest in a nutshell. It's an opportunity for communities to come together and put their best foot forward together collectively, provide a great time for as many people as possible, and take those efforts that we do every day that we have mastered through many failed events, many successful events, and come together and put, again, our best foot forward and just do something fantastic. So that's going to be coming in January, and keep an eye out for any promotions between now and then. If GearFest sounds like something you or your community want to be involved in, please reach out to any of the prefects or magistrates for Ministry of Promotions or put in a ticket. Plans with sponsors. I don't even know if I should talk about that because things are still malleable, but we are talking to different companies for trackers, straps, not just for affiliate links, but hopefully we're going to be demoing some new things very soon, and when you see that, you're going to see it in kind of like an MTV promotional way. The goal, again, is to create more users. We've been offered money by 5 different sponsors at this point, and every time we've turned it down. Sure, we could take money. I think every single one of our dancers should be paid. Every one of our DJs should be paid. Every one of your DJs should be paid. But until money is flowing into the scene in a correct way, where we can grab a receipt and say, we held our end of the bargain, we have a great reputation. The people we work with have great reputations. We all know we're going to work together well. But when talking to someone who has not been in the scene before, comes into the scene, it's going to be very difficult to say, hey, word of mouth, trust us. We're just a bunch of cat girls, right? So Ministry does not accept any money from these sponsors, but we still work and bend over backwards to help them when we work with them. Slime is a great example. If they tried to offer us money right now to make a video, we'd say, no, we're just going to make the video. Because there's no way for me to accept that money and say we did it for X reason and for me to distribute it across the team. But that's something we're working on. So just like the first update and the second one, this is something that we're working on. It is a very slow burn, and once that pop starts happening consistently, nothing's going to be a secret. We're going to make sure that anyone can copy what we do. Again, well, not again. If this is your first time seeing a video from us, this is the first time you've heard this, but we encourage growth. Every time we run into a team that wants to get started with dancing, we help them. We've been working with Tenjiku to try to get them more exposure and more dancers. We've been helping Cozy Club get their team up and running. We've been working with Ascension for a couple years now. Anytime that a team approaches us and wants help, we have enough dancers. And I'll get to this in a minute. There's dancers everywhere. Everyone should be dancing. That's just it, right? Everyone should be dancing. Lamau. But we want to make sure that anything we learn how to do, we can present to you, whoever you may be, and you can do it too. Because again, even if we're some selfish team of promoters that want to be the best at what we do, we can't do that until the scene grows. No matter how you slice it, no matter what our ambition is, until the scene grows, none of us are getting anywhere. So that's the mission. There's an interview on the way for those of you from the scene, and you guys are here, a couple of you are hearing this for the first time, but on November 21st at 6 p.m. EST, I will be interviewing with Rob Roman's voice on his new DJ interviewing thing that I'm sick. I don't have all my notes in front of me. But we all know who Rob Roman is, and he's going to be talking to us about the scene and a lot of other stuff. So keep an eye out for that. It's another opportunity for us to promote what we do and also talk about the scene and release some information, because between now and then, obviously, more things are going to be allowed to be talked about. New partnerships. 6 months ago, I was supposed to do a video that was going to talk about a merch store that is on hiatus because other things are coming first. Again, we're not here to monetize, but people have been asking me for merch. I was supposed to talk about a Patreon. I'm not going to open that up because, again, we are not going to accept a dime from anyone as much as people are trying right now, because we have a mission. We're not here to be the cool kids on the block who have a dope Patreon and go to meetups. If we wanted to do that, we could have hung up our jacket 2 years ago when we did Soul Fest. But I will name some. So we've partnered, and I gotta actually pull it up. Lamau. Scripts are better, I swear. So, since the last video, we've recently partnered with Cybar. Cybar is a fantastic community in the bar scene. They have some of the most ironclad hosts. Speaking to those of you who understand how things work in the scene a little bit, we all know just how nice it is to have the group system, to be at a Friends Plus or an Invite Plus instance. Moderation is very easy. There's not a bunch of randos coming in. In fact, me and Deli just came from a public instance, and I was there for 2 minutes, and a child ran by screaming obscenities, and then a crasher hit the lobby. The last thing I heard was, "Is that a crasher?" And then psh! So what does Cybar do? They run multi-instance events. They age check at the door. They do some insane moderation in public lobbies only. We are in a much more refined, cultured part of VR. And so the partnership with them is they have a lot of monotony in their day. So when they come to our events, whether they be DJ events, cons, stuff with PJKT or VR Chat or VCAT, Hypothetical, Schism, they get an opportunity to do something different, and it's like a day off for them, right? So they're a really strong partner, and I'm really happy that we get to work with them because they give a level of hosting and security and moderation that you don't see at a lot of places. And again, for them, it's like a day off compared to what their normal stuff looks like. Next, we have Temple, run by Blind Prophet. I'm not going to say much because they do so much. They do classes on scripting, singing, speaking, ASL, dancing. They have dance gurus. I can't do it justice, but I recommend you click on our Discord, go to their channel and our partner announcements page, and follow some of the stuff they do. We've actually just started giving lessons there ourselves. We have 2 prefects and one soon-to-be prefect giving go-go lessons, scare hunt lessons, all kinds of stuff. After that, even though we have done just about nothing with them because we are both very busy, we do cross promotions as we are partnered with VRD. VR Dancing is a massive dance community that's been in the scene a lot longer than we have, and they are a great resource if you want to get some exercise, meet some new people, find a wholesome environment, and learn how to dance. Then, Dreamwalkers. If you go to YouTube and look up that song, I'm So Nasty, yeah, that guy, Loki from Loki Records. He came into VR Chat, and a huge reason that he's a valuable partner is, again, one of our main goals is to work with as many IRL entities as possible so they can know how to operate while they're here. This guy showed up, Spooky from Network, who's someone we're going to be partnering with soon, I'll mention them in a minute, found them at one of our other partners club, Luxor, just chilling. And he went, are you that Loki? He was like, yeah. Crazy. So he came to us and straight up asked, like, hey, how does this work? What do we do? He took our advice on how to multi-instance, how to moderate, when ego is important, when ego needs to be left at the door. Again, this individual has no need for VR. So why are they here? They have a lot of fans, and the number one thing that keeps that guy up at night is working with his girl, making merch to send out to their fans. They are constantly pressing shirts and pins, and they're constantly sending out album art and all kinds of stuff. They work very hard for their community. So what does VR give them? An opportunity for fans to interact with them, to interact with their music. They've uploaded worlds that are a walking storybook of their albums that has unreleased music, only released in those worlds. It's a beautiful thing. And working with them has been very beneficial for us because we get to say we work with an entity that big and that important. And it's good for them because they got to dive into VR chat head first. And we gave them the tools and understanding that they have no chance of knowing unless they've been here for a few years. So they're a very strong partner, and we look forward to many things we're going to be doing with them. Those are our official strategic partners. We've recently opened up an application, well, not so much recently now, about 3 months ago, for community-level partners. This is a more traditional format where you follow our Discord, we follow yours, and you're one of our first picks because we know you and we trust you to come on to bigger events like GearFest, or should a sponsor say, hey, we need several lobbies filled, or we need engagement. Your hosts, your DJs, and your art is where we're going to start. Because again, we know we don't have to vet you. You've already been vetted. We know your Twitch safe. We know your TOS safe. We know your staff. And we know that if someone goes AWOL, you're going to handle it on the spot without our intervention. So it's a really cool program, and we're looking for as many partners as we can get. But we're doing it very slow because we believe it, just like mentioned in previous videos, we believe in a slow burn. If it burns slower, it's going to burn hotter, create more heat. We do things the right way when we can. So far, we haven't messed that up yet. Jinx, right? Knock on wood. So, who are some of those to mention? So, we've partnered with Beat Syndicate, and we've partnered with Rizumu, both of which are music-based communities. Beat Syndicate is a collective of multiple communities and venues. Primarily, you'll catch us at Deviate by Totsi. It is a very trancy environment with a lot of visuals. It is very breathtaking, and I do recommend it. Rizumu has been around for 5 years. We got to help them with their 4th and 5th year anniversary. They're one of the first places I've ever been in VR back in 2019, 2018. And we're very happy to work with them. We will soon be partnering, consider us partnered, but I just haven't gone through the motions yet, with TSL, Club Ascension, possibly Guys Night. They gotta wait for some more information from them. And, did I say Ascension? Network, done by It's Spooky. So that's the nutshell of partnerships. Again, this isn't edited. This is not going to have a script, so there's not cool visuals of the events we've done together. You're just going to have to stay tuned to the YouTube and keep an eye out for shorts. Moving on. This one might actually be shorter than the last one somehow. Roles we are looking to fill and grow with. So, for those of you who know us, we have a pretty sizable dance team. And we're always looking for more dancers. A lot of our dancers come and bounce off of us and either start communities, join other dance teams. Through this process, we've gotten to work with great people such as New Eden. It's how we met Ascension. Tenjiku. It's how we started started with Cozy Club. So if you want to dance, or you just want to have fun, right? There's this big stigma that you got to know how to dance, or you got to be somebody who knows somebody, right? That's not the case at all. I own Ministry. I make the final decision. And I'm saying that I will rather take someone who has no dance experience, has the most awkward, goofy movements in the world, but if they're having fun on the stage, pumping their fist, if they're enjoying themselves, I will take them over a 15, 20-year experienced acrobatist who has a stick up their ass every time. Every time. If you're someone who wants to learn how to dance, we have resources for that between our partners and now in-house through our partnership with the Temple. If you don't want to, but you just want to come rave and have fun, if you're just pumping your fist, as long as you're, that's engagement. If you're having fun, that's go-go. So we're looking for more dancers because we are expanding still, and we are supporting many partners in many multi-instance events. I've actually had to make a post recently stating that we are no longer going to accept incomplete tickets from event runners because we have so many coming in that we actually this week, again, missed our 2-year anniversary. Hi, happy anniversary. We dropped the ball on 2 events that we were anticipating, and that will not happen again. No one was mad at us. No one even noticed. It was to our standards that I say we drop those balls. So moving forward, we will not be catering to that, unfortunately. Unless you're already a partner, we need at least 6 or 7 days with at least when things are going to happen. If we don't have that, we're just going to close the ticket. But anyways, I'm digressing. If you want to try to dance with Ministry, or you have questions about dancing with Ministry or what Ministry is, pop into the Discord. A link will be in the video because it's attached to our YouTube. It's also on our Twitter and our Blue Sky, which will be pumping out content soon. Difficult, but all the same. Please come dance with us. Our media team has been growing. It's still small, but it's become recently very effective. We just did a campaign with PJKT's HorrorCon. I'm probably going to miss every single day of that con, but we pushed out a bunch of shorts, created a bunch of buzz, and hopefully we're going to hear from them that it was a noticeable difference that we contributed. What we're looking for: photographers, videographers, cinematographers. If you're a director, if you're a streamer, any kind of content, we're still manufacturing our process. The Dance Wing, as powerful as it is only the way it is because we took a whole year. More than that, because Ministry wasn't official before that previous 2 years ago, October 25th. You can see in our event archive. It's a process, but now that that process is moving, we want to meet more of you. And if you want to network to other communities, if you want to get into big parties that have a huge queue, be it Schism or community level events, Ministry is a great way to do that. And if you don't know what you're doing, we'll teach you. And if you don't want to learn our way, we'll let you bang your head against the wall until you figure it out your way. No matter what role we're talking about, whether it's in the media team, the promotion team, or the Dance Wing, there's no expectations. We're not going to say, hey, come dance or film once or twice a week or you lose your role, or once or twice a month. We have dancers who have not shown up for months, and then they show up in force. Life happens. Not everyone can live in VR like some of us try to. We have dancers who have 3 kids and travel for work, and they show up to the hotel for work with what I call the nuclear football from Cream Saber, right? Inside of this little silver briefcase, he has a Quest 2, 2 index knuckles, 2 stands with base stations, and 3 trackers. And they are a fantastic dancer. They've started up recently with New Eden. They are an excellent performer, and we love them very much, and they love to come dance with us. If we had some stupid rule that was like, hey, we need to see you X amount of time, we wouldn't have someone great like them. We also, again, don't have expectations on how you dance or how you film. You will learn if you care to. The policy has always been and always will be, if you want to be here, you will. If you don't, you won't. And if you can't, you can't. One example is a good friend of mine, Lexi. I met her back in the day at Club DGen. And back then, as we all know, eventually you hear long enough, your friends start starting clubs or becoming hosts. Lexi is a fantastic individual, a great leader, and a very intelligent girl. She's very strong. But we're all built for different stresses. There's things that I cannot handle for more than 5 seconds that Cherry can, and there's things that she can't handle for more than 5 seconds that I can do all day. Same thing with Lexi. The hosting thing was not her gig, but she came up to me and was like, hey, can I dance? Again, we're friends already. We had dialogue. And I was like, yeah, screw it. Come have fun. Well, what if I don't know how to dance? I don't care. She comes, she dances, she has these goofy little movements, right? She'd like trip over her cable and, giggle. But she was having fun. Over time, she found the runner's high, right? The exercise started getting to her. She started getting more fit. She fell in love with that. She was making new friends. Fast forward 8 months, and she became one of our high tempo dancers, which is a role I'll explain if you ever hit me up to ask. I won't do it here. She now dances for Tube, and she spent some time with Calibrate. And she does, because of where she lives, she does projects for Meta. She's been an integral part of every team she has touched. But let's pretend for a moment I said, hey, Lexi, yeah, no problem. Give me 2 weeks. Let me just get some more dancers in here that kind of know what they're doing. Then we can do whatever we want. She would have went, yeah, Scoot, that makes total sense. I understand. She would have never come back. She'd come to chill. Again, she's my homie. But she would have never danced. The imposter syndrome with her to this day is very strong, even though she's extraordinarily talented. And if I had done that, we would have one less fantastic dancer that got us to this 2-year mark. I'm not going to cry. Calibrate and Tube would have one less fantastic dancer, and this scene that we all think is so big that only recently just hit a single day of 113,000 users. It averages around 50. For those of you who know what Second Life was, in 2021 that platform was considered dead and dying at 64 million users. So what are we doing at 50,000? That would be one less entertainer on the stage for people to come show up and go, wow, that's cool. I'm going to put my headset on again tomorrow. So we don't do that. No matter what your skill level is or your background, asterisks, we want to meet you. We want you to come talk to us. And even if you don't work with or through us, we at least want to give an opportunity to point and say, hey, you should go this way or you should go that way. And you can take or leave that. But we want to see the scene grow. We want you to come work with us. If you're someone who wants to try out dancing and you've been nervous, please hit up Ministry Promotions. If you want to get into media, hit up Ministry Promotions. Again, we'll have a Discord link somewhere below where I'm pointing, and it's also on our Twitter. So yeah, I guess I'm supposed to talk a little bit about where we came from in the journey, huh? It's kind of crazy. I'm not a dancer.
Extremely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I am now. I have to say I am. It would be disrespectful to everyone if I said I wasn't because of how much we've danced. But, you know, when I started doing stuff, I had left AU. Nothing bad. You know, we're all good friends. I love them to death. That'll always be my home. But when I moved on from that as a community manager with the Oasis, I went from managing 6 to 9 events a week to 0. And that 6 to 9 events a week was for one club, and I went to 12 doing all administrative stuff, and it was a huge shock. So I ended up going to Atcom at Luxor, and again, at this point in time, I'm not thinking about dancers or dancing, but I still got this itch. If you ever go, look it up. It's a great world. Luxor Beach, it's Quest compatible. You look at that stage, and you just can't help but say there should be a dancer there and there, right? So... sorry, my brain just got beside me. Anyways, I said screw it, let's get some dancers on there. And that's when I met Cherry, and at the end of the event, she said, hey, I know you don't do this, but if you want some help, you know, I had fun, we'll come back. And that's all she wrote. We started plugging stuff up until it worked. Some days we'd have too many dancers, some days it'd just be my happy ass dancing for several hours at a time. You know, but
I'm a little happy those days are gone.
Yeah. Oh man, we used to
doing 15 slots in a row that gets to a lady.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, we did it, but then like you look back and you're like, can we not do that again? Then we have some dancers who like to do that. One of them is Nina. She's fantastic, but
oh my god. Absolute Energizer bunny.
Yeah, she's a bunny too. So Deli's kind of like that, except she likes to bounce to 19 million communities and dance all over the place. But yeah, it's been crazy.
Clubs in one night, like, oh my god.
We force launched because the group features came out, and that's why our launch date was that October 25th. And from there, it was like, man, I hope that we can, you know, get a leg up and do something good. And then we started multi-instancing, and I didn't think anything of it. We got to work with other dance communities. We met Poseidon, we met Calibrate, we met Tube. We ended up on some really big events. I already mentioned Soul Fest, Gear Fest. I can't count the amount of festivals. I just go look at the event archive, but it's been crazy. A lot of tears, a lot of joy, all joy. But yeah, looking back, if you told me a year ago we'd be where we are right now, I'd say hopefully, but probably not. That's a jump, but here we are, and it's thanks to the amazing team that we've been able to put together off of no other notion than this is fun. And then finally, as I did in the last two, I want to talk directly to our team. If you couldn't tell, not gonna cry, we're very passionate about this. Me and Cherry, yeah. Me and Cherry,
So much love.
we've seen a lot in the last 2 years. We've seen a lot of people grow. I've seen mutes unmute. I've seen people who would normally not stand up for a while because they were asthmatic or out of shape. Now they're, breakdancing and doing backflips. We've seen people with no life skills walk away as programmers that are now working, as programmers, making fat money. There's a lot of skills here, and that was my first ambition in VR Chat. It wasn't, let's go start Ministry Promotions. Ministry was without any planning. It just happened over time, and we just kept doing what worked until it took form and gave it its name. But the amount of times I've seen someone come up into VR and just evolve is insane. And Ministry has been a massive springboard for so many people and so many communities to do that. I cannot talk about them all. We'd be here for days. But every single slot that's been taken, if you've only danced with us once in the last 6 months, if you've danced with us every single week for the last 2 years since day one, thank you. Every single slot has mattered. Every single slot was one less empty platform. Every single slot was one less hassle because someone else didn't take it off the floor. Every single slot that we've given to someone off the floor that has become a dancer, it's been nothing but just a lot of networking, great times, and just... Sorry, I'm really trying to hold it back. Ministry has changed my life and has given it back to me. Coming from a corporate environment where a lot of my skills went to waste and I've been hung out to dry, I've been able to put those leadership skills to bar here. I've been able to practice and keep myself sharp. I've met some of the most fantastic people of my entire life. And the same thing I'm saying right now, I have been told by so many people. I'm so happy to be here. I've met so many people. I've done this, I've done that I never thought I would do. And I can't thank you guys enough. The amount of things that we've done, the money we've raised for, I think this year we're at $7,000 total between January's Gear Fest, the Club Hardstyles fundraiser, and there was 2 others that I'd have to look at the archive, but it's not a concept. Thanks to you people, it's not a concept. It's not me running around going, I hope we can do this, let's give it our best. We've done it. We've shown that you can sneeze a multi-instance if you just put ducks in a row, right? It's easy. The 80 cap is not a limit. It's just a flavor. It's just a challenge. It's just something that you gotta hop over. VR isn't... It's a game, but it can also be a window to people learning languages and skills and growing. There's so many things that Ministry has proven can and will happen, that we get to just walk up to almost any room and be like, hey, can we do this? And they're like, oh, yeah, please. And I'm always getting thanks for that. And I'm always saying, like, hey, thank them. Because I'm just a dude in a skirt on VR Chat with some good opinions, I guess, that people like to listen to. I'm one person. This is not possible without the rest of you. And it shows in all the stuff that we've been able to do in the communities that try to emulate what we do, take our advice and succeed. The scene growing, the concurrent user count finally going up. I would love to think that we have had a hand in that. You're why Ministry is good. You're why we're a Titan. You're why we get to do what we do. You're why people want to work with us. You're why we have, whether you've danced once or 100 times, you are why we get to do this. You're why we get to be taken serious, and you're why we're successful and have been successful in our mission statement of giving VR logistics and dignity when it operates. That's why every single week I make at least one post thanking everybody. And I'm probably, now that I did this for like that one, I'm probably just going to make a video that only goes to the Discord moving forward, because it's just so much easier to talk than try to type out grammar and fix my spelling. I'm so dyslexic. I know some of you, like most of you are sick of that, but sorry. But yeah.
You do your best.
Understand the English, it's okay.
I speak 2 languages. I speak English and bad English, but I guess that's really it, right? I'm not going to ramble too much more. To all of our partners and everyone that's worked with us this far, thank you. Still can't believe 2 years has already happened, and I'm sure 3 years is going to sneak right back up on us. Keep an eye on us this winter. There's a lot of stuff. I haven't signed anything yet, But there's a lot I'm not going to talk about that's soon to be talked about. It's going to be stupid. It's going to be nuts. But yeah, so again, from Ministry Promotions, thank you to the whole team and to everyone who supports us and to all the users of VR. Cheers.
Cheers.